Welcome to mediamelanie TV. Today I'm back to talk about the Buccaneers Season 2 on Apple TV+. We just got quite the explosive finale with some very important reveals, including something we've all been talking about this season, the possibility of a pregnancy. And you know what? It is confirmed, and it is Nan. And according to her, she is in fact carrying Theo's baby, the heir to Tintagel. However, there were also quite a few complications here, including Theo abdicating his title and everything that comes along with it to be with his true love, Lizzie. Shout out to all my Theo, Lizzie, and gamers out there, because at least for now, these two are together. And I am so glad that Lizzie is not with Hector for this pragmatic proposal situation. I've supported Theo and Lizzie the whole time, and yeah, there are definitely some complications. I mean, Nan obviously wasn't happy about it. She trusted Lizzie. But at the same time, Lizzie felt very confident that Nan was over Theo. So, at least for now, Nan is off running away on her own. She's not with Guy, who I'm a Nan Guy girl myself. And then we have Paloma with Guy. And Lizzie is now keeping this very big secret from Theo. However, the purpose of today's video is to talk about what I think is maybe the biggest reveal of the whole season, Kit Tintagel. Who are you, mysterious Kit Tintagel? We don't know a lot about this character. It's something the show has done very well keeping it under wraps. And here we are to discuss all of the possibilities. I was doing a few Google searches trying to figure out if Kit Tintagel is a character in Edith Wharton's unfinished novel. I cannot find a lot on this. So for all the book readers and all of the TV watchers who watched the prior series of the Buccaneers, drop in the comments and let me know. Is the Kit Tintagel character and storyline something that is not in the source material? Because it is an unfinished novel, so there's definitely a lot of room to divert from the source material. And because this was such a fast reveal, there is not a lot known about this character. So what exactly do we know about this very mysterious Kit Tintagel? Not a lot. He is actually the son of Theo's father, who had an affair while he was married to Blanche. Dowager has worked very hard to prevent Theo from knowing that his dad was a cheat. We don't know if he is an older brother, a younger brother, but either way, he's someone that could technically be considered illegitimate. And I'm wondering how that all plays out, right? Knowing that he is the product of an affair. And if he has known his whole life who his father is and that he is the product of an affair, did that lead to whatever this dangerous nature is? Reed saying that he's dangerous. How is he dangerous? Are we talking a villain who's into like bootlegging? Are we talking some crazy criminal who kills people? What sort of dangerous are we in for? When Theo came over to talk to Dowager about renouncing his title, we saw Blanche afterwards writing this letter to a Kit Tintagel. Now, at first I'm thinking, okay, maybe this person is in the, I don't know, royalty management sector of England, or I don't know, whatever department I guess that would be, who's in charge of the royal situation there. And that she was going to say, no, do not allow him to renounce his title. He's going to keep it. But instead, Dowager keeps to herself and doesn't even tell Reed, first of all, that Theo is renouncing the title, but that she wrote a whole letter to him that started with, Kit, this is a letter I never thought I would have to write or wanted to write. So this is obviously a very desperate backup plan by Dowager. She's probably always had this at the back of her head because Theo has been a little bit wishy-washy about being a duke. And Dowager has made it clear she dedicated her whole life to Tintagel. Tintagel is literally her life. So she was not going to let Theo just let that title go and everything slip away, obviously. So the backup plan is entering the scene. What I loved about the Kit Tintagel reveal was how dark and ominous his arrival is looking. He's riding on horseback in this very dark night. I think he's got a cape on. But the way they're playing the music and they're really not showing us anything is setting the table for this to be a very dark character. Now, something I've been talking about in the last few episodes is we need a new villain. And I was thinking at the beginning of the finale, okay, the new villain is definitely Nan. She is in her bad girl era here, going to reveal everything to the papers, forcing Theo to allow her to stay. And this is all before she even reveals the pregnancy situation. Now, we find out Nan was not the one who leaked it to the papers, even though everybody wanted us to think that. I love the way that that storyline progressed. And then I suspected, okay, maybe Hector is going to be the next villain. I mean, he's the one that leaked the whole story to the paper so he could get Lizzie back. But now Lizzie and Theo are going to end up together, and I think Hector's just going to have to stand by the wayside and go wallow in his own self-pity and grief and shame, as his dad also pointed out. So in terms of the next villain of the Buccaneers in season 3, which hopefully we will get news of soon, it's going to be Mr. Kit Tintagel. I've been doing all the Google searches. I cannot find a name of who played this character. Now, granted, we did not see the character's face. They probably used some sort of stunt double. Who do we think we want to play Kit Tintagel? In my finale review, I said, Leo Woodall might not be too bad. He's probably around the right age, very attractive, and he's also British, so I think he would fit the bill. But I would love if you guys dropped in the comments who you would like to see play this new villain. For me, Leo Woodall would be really interesting because he typically does play a relative good guy. So to see him channel some dark, nefarious vibes, I would be so here for that. But the other question surrounding Kit Tintagel is he's going to be new on the scene. He's going to be a duke. Dowager's obviously got to train him up for the position. While he's there and introduced to society, surely one of these single women is going to go after him, and maybe they may not realize that he is dangerous. I don't know how much his legacy is going to precede him, or perhaps if Reed and Dowager know that he's dangerous, but not everybody else within the realm of society knows this. So if somebody is going to get with Kit Tintagel in season 3, we've got a few prospects here. Conchita, mourning the loss of Richard. And fortunately, Mabel suggested a new business plan to her because things weren't working out very well with that. And by the way, I loved that. I love all of the queer joy and storylines here in the show in general. But I mean, it's possible. Could be Conchita. Could be Jinny. Seaton is locked away. She's a single mom now. Any of these girls could be a good prospect because Lizzie's pretty much off the table and Nan is who knows where. Let's say somebody does track Nan down or she decides to come back on her own. Now, I don't think that's likely because the whole reason she's running away is to protect her baby. But if she does, I mean, is there any world in which Nan and Kit would get together to raise the heir since Theo has renounced everything? That would be pretty wild, especially because we all know Nan and Guy are endgame, and Nan essentially gave permission to Paloma to stay as Mrs. Guy Thwart. Now, Paloma's interesting. She's been really funny this season. I appreciate all of her comic relief, but she was holding on to that annulment paper like Nan was holding on to that earring. She likes Guy, and even though they're not like necessarily having sex right now, we're not ruling that out for these two. We know Paloma wants to get some, so now that Nan has given that permission and really truly broken Guy's heart, which could be for the last time, because at one point in this episode, Nan chose to be a duchess and use her voice, but now she's running away from that because essentially, like she said to Patty in the mausoleum, she is a nobody and she's carrying the heir to Tintagel. But is it still considered an heir if the father has renounced the title? I think it's going to be really interesting working through some of these heir logistics. And if Theo does find out that Nan's pregnant, will he get back with her and change his mind? Or is it too late to change his mind because he's already publicly announced it? There are so many possibilities this story could go in season 3. So first and foremost, we need the renewal news. Second, we need some casting news for this mysterious Kit Tintagel. Who are they gonna bring on the scene here? I would imagine it's going to be somebody pretty easy on the eyes, just given the nature of the other male cast members here, and somebody that we could potentially see some chemistry with, notably with Conchita or Jinny. And how bad of a guy is Kit actually going to be? Like, is he coming in here some sort of murderer or criminal? Is his dangerous nature related to maybe something else? What does he do for a living? Is he older or younger than Theo? Does he have any other half siblings that could potentially come after him now that he's going to be in a place of power? So I've got a lot of questions about Kit Tintagel. I'm sure you do too. And I'm hoping once we get the season 3 renewal news, we will also get some casting news. I'm wondering, have they already had somebody in mind for this role? Is it the person who actually played him in this episode riding the horse, or did they just use a stunt person because we never saw their face? Either way, I love this introduction of a new character, probably a villain here in the Buccaneers. And we needed a new villain here because Seaton is gone and we may never end up seeing him again. Who knows? I want you to drop all your thoughts and theories and Kit Tintagel predictions down in the comments. We're going to have a little bit of time before season 3, and by a little, I mean, gosh, it could be anywhere from a year or two, we'll see. But that gives us a lot of time to theorize on this very dark new villain in the Buccaneers, and I am so here for it. If you didn't have a chance to watch my finale review, go ahead and check that out. Be sure to catch up on my other Buccaneers content from season 2. It has been so much fun covering this show, the scandal, the dramatic tension, the questionable choices these characters make, who really define who they are and make them interesting. And now that the Buccaneers is over, if you need another love triangle show, don't miss The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's on its 3rd and final season on Prime Video, and that is also based on books. And on the opposite side of things, I'm also covering Dexter Resurrection on Paramount Plus with Showtime, solid spin-off so far, and The Institute on MGM Plus, which is a Stephen King adaptation. And if you like shows such as Stranger Things and School Spirits, you might want to check that one out. It also stars Mary Louise Parker, who I love from Weeds. And once again, I just want to thank everybody who stuck with me for the Buccaneers during season 2. It has been a blast covering this show, and I just really appreciate everybody who's been here for the ride along with me. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that way you don't miss any more Buccaneers content as we start to get news for season 3, hopefully. And also feel free to check out my other coverage. And if there's other shows coming up that you would like to hear me talk about, I'm also very open to suggestions, so drop it down in the comments. I think Maxton Hall is one that I'm definitely considering, so let me know if there's any interest in that show. I've been working so hard to become a full-time TV content creator, so every time you join me here, it really helps put me one step closer to that goal. So seriously, I am so grateful for all of you. I will be back again very soon. Media Melanie, clicking off.